Hello, and welcome to the Footy Podcast. To benefit Here's Help. Here's Help is a nonprofit comprehensive rehabilitation and educational agency that's been providing treatment services in South Florida since 1968. For more information on Here's Help or Footy's podcast, you can contact us at 305-685-8201. If you need help or know someone who has a substance abuse or alcohol problem, you can call our admissions office at 305-685-8201, extension 224. If you'd like to make a cash donation to Here's Help and join the fight against drug abuse, call Footy at 305-685-8201, extension 227. Now, here's Footy.
Welcome to our podcast. The podcast, deals with a lot of the things that we do at Here's Help and things that are going on and things that are coming up and all such. And it's myself and Ron Hersey. Sometimes we have some of the guys from the Here's Help program come in and tell you their stories, and it's quite a lively little operation that we have going. It's today's broadcast.
Today's radio. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's today's radio.
Yeah.
I keep getting contacted by people from 30 years ago.
They want money?
No.
You owe them something?
No, but it's they want to.
How about that $5?
Yeah, they want to. They want to participate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been thinking because of the access to Zoom, I've been wondering if it wouldn't be a lot of fun to do a Zoom call with some of the guys like Robert Walker and all these people that are scattered out all over the country and chat with them about the good old days at Y100. And it's always interesting to me when you talk to people because everybody's memories are different. What I remember about a particular instance, say for instance, that we were both at Y100, you have a completely different memory about what took place there. So I enjoy talking to the guys from the past.
Really don't have much memory.
Well, if I were to be honest, I have difficulty remembering a lot of those things too. So maybe that's why I love doing it, because then I find out what really happened. So we're going to work on that, because I think it might be fun to talk to Robert and Al Chio, who's doing a lot better, by the way, after his bicycle accident.
Whose bicycle?
Al Chio got in a bad bicycle accident and was.
What the hell's he doing riding a bicycle around town?
You do what you can do, I guess, for your health.
Well, I used to ride a bicycle every day.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And then I got, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I was on the, where they have like a road next to the road and then the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was riding that, and this guy come barreling up on another bicycle, and I was just putzing around. I didn't have like some big racing bike or whatever, and the guy crashes right into me. Looks at me, drive, boom, and he gets off and goes, "Yeah, maybe you should have paid closer attention. It was all my fault."
Right, of course, yeah.
And I'm laying in the street.
Right.
And I said, "This is crazy."
Yeah.
I said, "This is nuts," because I had a couple of incidents on bicycles, and I was a big bicycle rider, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, "You know what? I'm not doing this anymore." It's too crazy, and people are too many agendas.
Well, it just proves what I've said along. Exercise is bad for you. It's dangerous.
No, well, you know what I did? I switched to swimming.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. I'm not going to ride any bikes.
You know what? Truth to be told, you probably get a better workout. You probably use more muscles to swim than you would to ride a bike anyway. So
plus, you're out of the pool quicker.
Yeah.
You
don't have to leave the house.
Yeah, you ride. You swim your laps. You feel good. That's the end of that. And then you go and watch TV and eat crappy food.
Gain back all the calories that you lost. Well, I
look like I'm suffering from calories today? No. I'm calorie exempt.
Calorie deficient.
Yeah, they can't. You can't do it.
Well, I've been thinking about you all weekend because I wanted to share this story with you because I know that you know.
This is Ron Hersey. Yeah. I'm Footy. This is our podcast coming to you from Here's Help.
I know what a big fan you are of gambling, and I know that you know that it's so completely foreign to me.
I'm not a big fan of gambling.
Okay.
I like to go probably twice a year to a casino. That's it. There's no. I'm not at the bank, any of that stuff. I save up some money, and then I'm going to go. For example, in November, actually, it is. It's not even December. I'm going up to Long Island because they have casinos.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that, but anyway, I get together every Christmas with friends of mine that I grew up with. There's like a dozen of us, and we all get together. You probably know a couple of them.
I'm sure I do.
Yeah, and we then go out to dinner, and we go to see Darlene Love do her Christmas show.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun for us, and it's out on Long Island, but then after the show, I will take off for Atlantic City for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not.
Okay, so it's more about the whole thing. It's about the trip.
I'm going to be with my friend.
Right.
And we grew up together. We were like 5 years old together.
Well, then I'll rephrase it. I'll say, I know you understand gambling. How's that?
No, I know how to.
Right. And you know that I know.
Listen, I was born and raised in a gambling environment.
Right.
What do you think goes on in New York and Long Island?
Yeah. Well, I tell people I drive an hour and a half to work every day on I-95. That's all the gambling. But I had an opportunity recently, since I'm on the air in West Palm Beach. I had the opportunity to take on an endorsement where I do commercials to endorse a product.
Mikasuki?
It's betus.com. I don't know who is behind it, but it's online betting. And so part of the package was, of course, I now have an account. So I've been trying to do some research and try to go online and see, because I don't know if you've ever been on online gambling sites, but you can literally bet on almost anything. I mean, in addition to sports and boxing, and you can bet on politics. You can bet on elections.
I'm aware of
it. It just amazes me about the crazy thing. And there's also an online casino. So I'm trying to think. Okay, well, how do I do this? I'm trying.
Well,
to do
haven't
the
you
research.
seen like what tribe is it now?
Miccosukis?
Yeah, Miccosukee.
Mm-hmm.
They advertise their betting.
Oh, there's a million sites.
No, but they advertise actual, they run a commercial, and it's at the end of the commercial you can go and start betting.
Wow, amazing! It's an amazing industry. So I've been trying to, and you know me when it comes to money anyway. I mean, what was that line from Jack Nicholson said in Prizzi's Honor? He says, Sicilians would rather eat their young than part with $1. If I lose $1, I have such remorse, So I'm trying to figure, okay, well, how do I bet? And there's a million ways to bet on a game. I mean, they're over and under and this and that, and the first quarter score, second quarter score. I mean, and I'm a little overwhelmed. So finally, last week, I started doing some research, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should put something down on my Dolphins. Maybe I should bet on my dog. I can see the look of horror.
No, you're not.
Already, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So I start looking at all these different sites and all these different opinions, and I realized there was no way I was going to bet on the actual winner of a Dolphin game. I mean, I wasn't that out of the mix that I realized that what a sucker bet that was. But I did notice a pattern. Everybody seemed to agree what the total score would be at the end of the game. And I thought, okay, well,
this is on the podcast.
this was on betus.com on my site, the one I'm endorsing. So they all seem to agree that each team would score around 20 to 25 points. So I thought, okay, well, that sounds like a relatively safe, So I put my money down. I said, okay, here's $50. and the final score is going to be between 41 and 50 points. I thought, I'm in. $100 is in my pocket come Sunday. So we sit in front of the Dolphin game. What's the first thing that happens in basically the first 5 minutes of the game? Tua goes out with ribs.
Quarterback gets injured. Yeah.
So I sat agonizing over 4 quarters of a shutout game, and I didn't win. So I'm coming to you, Godfather, for advice.
I'll give you some advice. Don't gamble. No, you're not a gambler.
Oh man!
And you're too fidgety to be a gambler.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're going to be a gambler, you got to be willing to dump your life into the bet.
Right?
You're not that way. You're like, did they take a penny?
Yeah, when I said $50 bet, you looked at me like, last of the high rollers.
Yeah. Plus, you never bet $50 in your life.
And I want to say, I remember one time you came back from a gambling junket in Las Vegas, and I said to you, so how did it go? Did you win big? And did you have a good time? And you looked at me and you said, Ron, there's no better feeling in the world than walking down an empty street in Las Vegas at 3 o'clock in the morning.
With nothing in your pockets.
Nothing in your pockets.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess I understand that. You're smiling. I can't wrap my mind around it.
You don't have the gene. So don't even bother.
Right.
I really don't have the gene. People perceive me as having it because I know a lot about it.
Right.
But literally, I'll go to a casino twice a year. I never go to over here to the
the locals. Any of the locals?
Yeah, but it gets. I'm glad you brought this up because a casino is exciting and it's fun.
Right.
Okay, and it's dangerous, and you're probably going to lose. But you gotta moderate yourself. You can't be just plunging all the time because you'll never get out alive.
Right. And you'll run out of money a lot faster that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And
well, I'll agree. And we've spent plenty of time over the years broadcasting from like Paradise Island before it became Atlantis. And of course, being in a band, I've played my share of casinos. And you're right. There is something, and they're very glamorous about going to a casino. Very exciting. They're very ornate. And, they always put like the nickel machines outside the perimeter of the casino. So you can always, the minute you walk in the door, all you hear is ding, 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 ding. So there's a lot of sights and sounds that make it very glamorous and very exciting, and a lot of colors, and of course there are always cocktail waitresses around, more than happy to get you another drink. So I certainly understand where, from your standpoint, where it's a vacation, it's a getaway, it's a whole package of.
I don't go to the Miccosukee or the Seminole.
Right. It's not just like you jump in the car and go down the street and stop at the pawn shop on your way to pawn your watch to go gamble.
Yeah. I'll go once or twice a year, and when I go,
it's a trip. It's a vacation.
You can't go all the time because you just get a rope, put it around your neck, and jump out the window. That's where you're going to end up.
But on the other side of the coin, I have known people who were, I guess the term is professional gamblers, and that's their job. And I guess if you do something long enough, you learn the ins and outs eventually, and if you devote every day to it, sooner or later you got to succeed.
Well, you have to be careful of what people tell you, because a lot of people in the gambling world, they'll, oh, I'm hot, I got this, that, and the other thing.
Got a streak.
Yeah, and then you got to loan them 50 cents to get home. You know?
Yeah.
But it's you have to understand that it's risky, you know. It is.
Well, you know, that's where profit. I mean, there's big profit in risk. That's why there's a stock market, because you know, you're not going to make any money. Like in my case, you're not going to make a killing making a safe bet. It's when you really go out on a limb and the odds are against you, and then if your bet comes in, then that's where the money is. I remember once we were playing, our band was playing on the Dolphin for one of those cruises over to Key West and back, and you have to get out. Apparently, you have to be out in international waters, or you had to at that time.
Oh, right, back then,
before you could open the casino.
Yeah, you get past a certain limit.
Right. So we get on the ship. We get all settled in our cabin.
That was 50 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's been a while. You do the muster with the life jacket on the deck and everything, and then you have your little farewell to the shore as you leave, and then we went down to the casino, and there were people. The casino's dark. The lights are off. None of the machines are on there, and there's a person sitting at every slot machine, just sitting there staring at the screen, doing this with their tokens, just waiting for that machine to come on. The minute we go out over international waters, you could cut the tension with a knife. So, being the smartass that I am, I walked over to the little tray where the slot machine is. I had a cup of tokens, and I just dumped the tokens into and it made that noise. Man, everybody jumped up. Hey, my machine's not on. I thought it was hysterical. They found no humor in it at all. It was not very funny to them. But they did. You should have seen. The whole place just woke up. But we can't talk about gambling without talking about, God love him, Sonny Fox. He
wasn't a good gambler.
He was. I loved him with all my heart. He was the worst gambler I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was not a good gambler. I used to stay away from him. We went to Atlantic City one time.
More than once, I think. You guys had quite a few.
Him and who was the program director?
Steve Perrin was.
Steve Perrin. He was a compulsive gambler.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Allegedly.
No, he was.
I just said that for the legal department.
And we had, we were gambling, whatever. And we were driving back. We were going to Philly, I guess. And I had won like $1,200 somehow or another.
Somehow or another.
and
I was as surprised as he was.
Yeah, they didn't. You know, Sonny lost everything 5 times.
Right.
Yeah, because Sonny was get money, they go back, he get more money, get more. Then he was borrowing, then Perrin was borrowing money from him.
Yeah.
So we're in the...
Well, and in those days, Sonny had no shortage of money. Let me tell you, in those days...
It didn't last very long on that trip.
He had plenty of money to lose. He was doing really well back then.
Well, we were driving back to Philly, and I'm sitting in the car, you know, with Perrin, and I had won, I think, like $1,200. I got, you know, lucky. Mm-hmm. And the two of them are broke. They lost every dime they had. Because they were, you know what it was? They weren't professional gamblers, and they just threw money down and hoped that.
Right.
And I'm now sitting in the car with those two. They're ready to kill themselves. And I'm sitting there with $1,200.
And it's probably cash.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What did you think? I was taking Monopoly money?
I don't know. Maybe they wrote you a check.
Yeah, right.
A store credit.
No, I was like, I did. If I smoked cigars, I would have had a cigar.
Yeah.
And
you would have lit it with $100 bill.
Yeah, they were crying and whining. But Sonny Perrin was a real degenerate gambler. I mean, he was no kidding with them. It was no joke, and he was a program director. And but I was telling Sonny, don't ruin my thing here.
Right, don't ruin my mood.
Yeah.
All right.
So I rode home, got on whatever we were on to get going, and I won.
Yeah.
But I hit. I didn't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the minute if you hit and then you start playing more and more, not that I should be giving gambling tips,
Right.
but it was quite a trip.
Those days, as I recall, roulette.
Yeah, I played a lot of roulette.
So Sonny was at the blackjack table, and you were over doing roulette, and Lord knows where I was.
But I played cards too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I played a lot of roulette.
See, I could never, and I said to somebody the other day, I said, I can never, to me, roulette is the, of all the games of chance, it seems like you have the least control over, or the least, you know, I mean, how do you, I don't understand. It just seems like all the odds are against you.
It's all
roulette.
Random.
And somebody
It's
said,
all random. It's just like a deck of cards. It's all random, and you gotta get lucky and do that. But I was, but if you watched me, I was moderate. I wasn't putting my shoes on the table and trying to get $10 from. Yeah. I would moderate my play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what happened, the odds you're going to win are very low. You know, and if you do win, you need to behave properly. Like, you need to. Well, wait, I won 1,500. Hey, you don't go dumping the 1,500 back on the table. You put that in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You take a break. You have a couple of drinks. You enjoy yourself. And maybe you'll go back later and play a little more, but you got to moderate your behavior. It's stacked against you no matter what you do, but you got to moderate yourself. That was Sonny's problem. He couldn't moderate himself.
Yeah, he was all in. That's funny. I remember.
Remember, he was always going over to the cage with the credit card.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. I had to give him a loan one time in the Bahamas, and but I got my money back and the next day. So thank God for that. At least I didn't loan Steve any money, so at least I was okay.
Steve, the guy Steve he's referring to, his name is Perrin. He was our program director for a little while.
I can't enjoy losing money. I guess I work too hard for it. It's just all I get is anxiety.
You don't have the gene.
Yeah, like I said, to me, gambling is, I don't see any difference between gambling and driving down I-95 and just throwing money out the window. I don't. But having said that, I will agree that going to a casino can be a fun night because, as I said, there's a lot of, it's very elegant. The buildings are beautiful and very ornate, and there's a lot of noise and sounds and stuff. And even on the cruise ships, the casinos were
Plus, you
fun.
meet a lot of people.
You meet a lot of people.
When you reach into your pocket, you find a hand. That you never had before.
So you're not going to give me any tips now on how I can continue my my experience with online gambling. You're not going to.
No, don't do it.
Don't. Well, I got to.
Ooh. Excuse me, there, Pat Masterson. You're not a gambler. You don't get it.
I have heard. I think I did read in my research into the subject that apparently the online football betting is probably the most popular.
Is it?
Of all the, in the United States at least. It's because I guess it's so easy. You go to a computer and you know.
Yeah, you gotta.
I guess if you follow
I bet with a bookie, and it's also murder. You know what I mean? No matter what you do. I don't really. I haven't hit much at all this season, but but if you're moderate, you have like money that you would use for entertainment and gambling, fine.
Right.
But if you start betting your bank account,
right,
jump off the bridge.
It's safer.
I was at an event in the Hard Rock. It was something to do with Dan Marino because I remember I was with Mike Marino. We were walking around. It was all like, had like all these, setups, but they were in the water. Everything was in the water, and we had to walk around and go around. But Mike and I played, and we got lucky, and we ran away.
Yeah, I remember we played. We were playing on our band was playing on the Dolphin at one of those.
The Dolphin is a cruise ship.
It was one of those day. It was a day cruise per se, but somehow or another for Fantasy Fest every year down in Key West, the radio station I was at, Magic, we would basically take over the whole ship and give away a bunch of cabins to promote this trip, and our band would play on the ship. So it was a lot of fun. We were on a cruise ship filled with listeners who loved us, and our band got to play, and so those were good times. We would go down Friday, and our band would play in the lounge on Friday night. We would do Key West on Saturday, do the parade that night, and then we'd go back to the ship, and our band would play on the pool deck after the parade. And then Sunday morning we did like an unplugged thing where we would invite passengers to come sit in with us. Well, I called it an unplugged. We would play up in the lounge in the front and invite passengers to come sit in with us. And then we would be back Monday morning. But I remember specifically one time being in the casino, and our keyboard player was feeding the slot machine, and he hit and he won like $200. And I remember I literally ran over, and I put my mouth right by his ear, and I said, "Take this stuff and walk away. Walk away right now. Walk away," like you said. And he did. He cashed in. And later on the cruise, he came over and he said, he thanked me for being the voice of reason. He said, if you hadn't said that, I would for sure not have that $200 now. And it was a big, $200 in those days was a big deal to anybody, but to him, it was a pretty big thing. So before we wrap up our gambling edition of the Footy Podcast, you have to tell the story of you and Sonny coming back from Atlantic City in the classy limousine.
Oh, because of the company, yeah.
Where you taunted death and won because the driver was like nodding off behind the wheel.
Oh, that one, yeah. We were going back to Manhattan in that.
From Atlantic City.
Yeah.
In like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right, and we were, half drunk and falling asleep, and it was one of them big limos like they have in the old days.
And the company, I love the name of the company, Classy.
And
you said
the guy was like from Romania.
And you said when you would call to book the limo, they'd pick up the phone and go, Classy.
Yeah. Well, they were in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So you got,
Right.
So anyway, we're all done. We get in the car. And the guy was the driver was in the casino gambling the whole time.
And you said drinking. I think he said
drinking, yeah. So we're going back, and it's like, it's 4 a.m, whatever it was. Dum dum dum, dum 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 dum, dum dum dum. We're going over the
pavement. Yeah, and that'll put you to sleep.
But Sonny and I were asleep in the car. And the guy was driving, and we got up to New Jersey, and all of a sudden I woke up, and I looked out through the front window.
That separates the driver from the back of the limo.
Yeah. And I look, and I crane my head, and I realized, oh my God, there's nobody driving this car. He's passed out in the front seat. Sonny and I are there, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom. And we're going down different little hills to get to where the bridge was. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wake up, you idiot, come on. And we finally... And Sonny's like, what? Yeah.
Keep it down, will you?
Yeah. And
I'm trying to sleep.
We hired him in Manhattan. He was like an immigrant. But we were all, he and both of us were asleep in the car while it was on its way to New Jersey. And it was like, holy Christ. And I went, get up, wake up, you idiot. And he's up in the front. This guy's like head on the wheel. And I'm like, this is insane. Get me back.
Didn't he like jam on the brakes? Or I think he.
Yeah, he did.
wound
I
up,
think he like panicked when he woke up.
Sideways in an intersection.
Those cars are like 40 feet long anyway.
I can just see.
Yeah, we were second. And then, but the rest of the way back to Manhattan, we were like, our eyes were perked open, because we were afraid he could. Well, I saw him in the casino. He was gambling.
Yeah, and drinking.
And drinking, yeah. And this is our driver who's going to drive us back. And I'm like, holy Christ, what's this deal going to do?
Oh, my God.
But we made it.
Yeah. So, all right.
We had a lot of fun with those trips to New York, though.
Yeah.
I remember the time that Sonny was there, and we were shooting video for something, I guess, TV program.
I
think it was like Ed Odell.
We took a lot of trips up there for various events.
And Sonny doesn't realize what a hickey is.
Right.
Yeah, he has no idea. He thinks he's Mr. Soiree. And he was annoying the guy who was emceeing the part, that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, he got surly with the crowd. Sonny was like, oh, look at this crowd. He started making fun of the guy. He didn't realize he's one of them. Okay?
Right.
You're not.
Right.
And I said to him, I said, Sonny, cut it out.
Right.
This ain't going to end nice. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And they're not going to side with you.
Yeah.
So I got him on the side, and I go, oh, cut it out, Footy. What do you think? I'm just having a good time. They don't think this is a good time. Right? Well, trust me on this one.
Yeah,
And I got him out of there. They were starting to get surly. They were going, why don't you mind your own business? Leave that old guy alone. It's like he was anybody he could find that was a comic person. And I was like, you better cut this out.
Yeah.
Because they're going to defend. They're going to protect this guy.
Right.
And not going to protect you.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. I've been in that situation when the crowd turns on you, and it's not good.
I turned on him. I didn't want to go near him.
Even you were like, all right.
No. Well, I know the dynamics, and I know how it works, and I know. I told him. I warned him. I said, Sonny, this is not a joke to these people. This is their lives, and they don't think you're funny.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He thought he was funny.
Right.
But they're all standing there with their feet
and their arms folded.
Yeah, their arms folded, looking at him.
Right.
Like, why don't you stop picking on that old guy?
Right.
Why don't you go someone your own age? It was getting. There's a lot of things coming up that I was. Sonny.
Time to go.
Yeah, this ain't gonna end.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of bringing things to an end, we're going to bring this podcast to a close. Join us next week when we'll look at the odds in college football. No, but we thank you so much for watching our podcast. We put up a podcast over the weekend, and within a matter of seconds, we already had a bunch of views. So people are getting the notifications. If you click on the little bell on the screen, we can notify you the minute a new podcast is up. People have been clicking on the bell, and they're going right to the podcast and watching them, and we love that. We appreciate that so much. Be sure and leave us a comment. We love the comments. We hear from people all over the country, folks who used to listen to us back in the old days that have moved on to different parts of the country. So thanks for that. And also remember, Footy Sauce.
Have you been introduced to Footy Sauce? Footy Sauce makes it easy to give ordinary chicken wings extraordinary flavor. Footy Wing Sauce is made with a perfect blend of herbs and spices. So what are you waiting for? Pour it on. Footy's Wing Sauce guarantees you a better tasting chicken wing every single time. When you fire up the grill, pour it on. Let Footy be your wingman. Kick your next party up a notch with Footy Sauce. Grab Footy's Wing Sauce and pour it on.
Every penny of Footy Wing Sauce and Footy Hot Sauce goes here to the Here's Help program and goes to all the great work that's being done here to help young men and off-campus young women with their issues with substance abuse, help them get a replacement
That's
life.
an interesting thing because people don't really, we have our residential facility in our school, but we also have outpatient, South Dade and in North Dade. So we get a big variety of people, and a lot of people benefit by it.
If you know someone who is having substance abuse issues, could be you. We invite you to go to the website, here'shelpinc.com, find out more about what's going on. There's a lot of great stuff going on here at Here's Help. Plenty of phone numbers that you can find that you can call to get the information they're looking for, and we hope we can help you or your loved one get a replacement life and get back into the real world. So thanks for watching the podcast. We'll have another one coming up real soon.
Thank you for listening to the Footy Podcast. To benefit, Here's Help. For more information about the Footy Podcast or Here's Help, contact us at 305-685-8201. If you need help or know someone who has a substance abuse or alcohol problem, you can call our admissions office at 305-685-8201, extension 224. If you'd like to make a cash donation to Here's Help and join the fight against drug abuse, call Footy at 305-685-8201, extension 227. The executive producer of the Footy Podcast is Sam Zarco, COO of Here's Help.